Welcome to the Finding Your Students Marketing Basics for Private Practice Teachers workshop. In this workshop, we are going to be identifying your audience, clarifying your message, defining their marketing funnel, and reviewing the basics of both traditional and online marketing, and then putting it all together to create a specific marketing plan for you and your business. And then at the very end, we'll briefly talk about how we can work together if you would like to have more support and guidance in building your business. So before we get started, here's what you need. You're going to need your workbook. Preferably, you have already looked at this already. It's printed out and you've jotted down some ideas. Writing utensil, some Post-it notes, or at least some scratch paper, additional paper, and something to drink, because we will be here for a little bit. Next, turn off your notifications on your phone, close the door, close the tabs. And my promise to you is if you can give me 45 minutes to an hour, I will do my very best to make sure that it is worth your time. Also, this is a training on marketing. So here's one of the ways that you can start to announce the fact that you are working on a business. You're learning the business side, you're creating a business. And so you can take a picture of yourself with the backdrop of this presentation and then tag me in it. So professional development with the private practice teacher. And that lets people know that you are taking the steps that you need in order to build your business and build it well. And it's also marketing for me and for you. And for showing up live, you get these bonuses: your getting started checklist, your pricing guide, my email templates, and then this bonus training, the 3 do's and don'ts of private practice teaching. All right, so let's get started. This is where you're going to be using your Post-its or your scratch paper, whatever you have available to you. I want you to, if it's your scratch paper, just draw a line down the middle, and on one side, I want you to just brain dump all of the traits of your ideal student. Everything you can possibly think about your ideal student. And on the other side, or with your other Post-its, I want you to list all of the traits you have that make you a great teacher. Everything about you that makes you a great teacher. So if you are watching the recording of this, then I want you just to hit pause here. And when you're ready, come back to it. Now, from here, I want you to take some time to organize the things that you have written down. And I want you to look for 2 specific things. I want you to look for your ideal student's needs and how you can provide a unique solution. We're going to use all of the information that you wrote down at some point during this training, but at this moment, this is what I want you to be looking for. So what are the specific needs, struggles, problems that your ideal student is having? And how are you uniquely qualified and positioned to address those needs? I want you to look for the overlap. So we know that not all students learn best from all teachers. I want you to focus on the students that are going to learn best from you and why. Why are they going to learn better from you? What qualities do you have? What education and experience do you have that make you the best teacher for that particular student? You don't need to be the best teacher for all students. You can't be the best teacher for all students. So think about your ideal student. That's the student that you are the best teacher for, and understand why you're the best teacher for that student. Now, before we go any further, I want to really understand who all is here. So in the comment box or in the chat box, let me know if you are 1, already have an established business and you just want to know more about marketing in order to build your business. 2, you're just getting started with your business. Or 3, you're still in the thinking about starting a business. So let me know in the chat. And I want you to know that whatever reason you're here today, I'm here to support you. Just a little brief intro about me. If we haven't already met, if you haven't been following me for any length of time, my name is Rachel Siccioni. I taught in a classroom for 10 years. 9 years of that was in private school. Here's a picture of my students up in the upper left-hand corner. We had a very special day that day, and I got to take a picture with them. I absolutely loved my students. I had amazing students. They are not at all the reason that I ended up leaving the classroom. And then here in the middle, on the right-hand side, you can see my kiddos on the last day of class. These were my French 4 students of COVID. So this was my very last class with them. And each of them has given me permission to use their photos in my presentations and in my marketing campaigns. Now, the two photos, the one on the left here of me sitting at my desk, was just taken this school year, working with one of my new students at home. And then this picture, the last one, is of my family when we went to Disney in February, which is something I never would have imagined even trying to do when I was still in the classroom. And it was so easy to do it as a private practice teacher. It never occurred to me to become an entrepreneur. When I got my teaching degree, my intention was to retire from my classroom. So I never thought that I would be creating a private practice teaching business. And then I never thought I'd be creating a business to teach other teachers how to do it. So here's kind of how we got here. I finished college in 2011 as a second career professional. I was already in my 30s by the time I got into the classroom. I was in the classroom full-time for 9 years, part-time, and as a long-term sub for another year. And then I started my French U in September of 2020. So I officially left the classroom completely in August of 2020 and then started my business then. And then I started the private practice teacher in 2022. And I kind of have to say neither of those businesses were fully my idea. But I love them. I wouldn't change it. So my first year starting my French U, and I had no business coaching or anything. This was all like just learning on the ground. It was only 3 months for that year. I lost $200, mostly because I was undercharging and I invested in things that I did not actually need. And I have a whole blog post on what I recommend you spend money on. I'm happy to talk to you about all the things that I don't recommend you spend money on. A lot of learning happened in those 3 months. Then by the end of year 2, so that was my first full year in business, I actually made $18,000, which I know doesn't feel like a lot, but that was the first goal for me because that was what my full-time employer offered me to teach part-time. Now that part-time was still teaching a full course load. So I still would have been teaching over 70 students and having to work 35 hours a week. That was their part-time that they were going to pay me $18,000 for. And I managed to do that working 12 hours a week with 9 students. Just for kind of clarification, that was my first number. That was my first goal and I hit it. But by the end of my second year in business. And then my third year of business, I doubled it. And it wasn't even that difficult to do. And that's the year that I decided, at a friend's urging, that I should probably start teaching other teachers how to do this. That's the point at which I realized that this could be scalable just by making some pretty easy tweaks. All right, so now we're getting into your stuff. Identifying your audience. You're going to be getting out these 2 pages. Now they're going to look slightly different because I did update your workbook just after making this presentation. So yours will say your audience on each. But the reason that they're slightly different is because I took this right out of my Jumpstart course. So you're getting kind of a mini part of the course right now. So for your audience, you actually have 2 separate people that you need to know. You have your ideal student. And for most of you, your ideal student is going to be a minor, which means you also need to have your ideal client. And that is going to be the parents and guardians of your minor ideal student. You need to have a very clear understanding of each of these audience members in order for your marketing plan to be successful. I do not recommend, at least at this point, having any more than 2 ideal students and 2 ideal clients. The reason for this is if you have too many people that you are trying to market to, your message becomes diluted and it won't land with anyone. No one will hear you. It won't resonate. It won't be relatable. But if you are talking to 2 very specific people about something that is very specific, it will connect with your audience and it will connect with anyone who shares characteristics with your audience. So you want to have very, very clear ideas of who these people are. The space, the little underlined space, is for you to put a name in. So I want you to name them. Feel free to base these after people that you know in real life. If you don't know anyone who's exactly like your ideal client, maybe they're a little bit like Joey and a little bit like Maddie and a little bit like Erica and a little bit like Marcus, combine them all together to make your ideal student and your ideal client. The ideal client is going to be the parent or parents. Now, if you have to choose, typically it is the mothers or the female caregivers that are going to be the decision makers on the types of enrichment or educational decisions for the kids. For better or worse, that is what I see most often. So that's what I would have you pick. And we're going to talk about that just a little bit more. Think about where your ideal client hangs out. Think about the things that your ideal client is interested in. Think about your ideal client's struggles and how you can meet them. The same thing with your students. Think about your students' specific troubles and problems and pain points and how you specifically can address those issues. Now we're going to move on to these two sheets. These are two of probably some of the most important sheets in your business. So you're going to want to keep these. And this is part of how you're going to be keeping your messaging consistent. There are a couple of these that I would even recommend making into a cool graphic that you can post somewhere that your eyes can land on regularly. So the left side, the your audience, this is mostly like a worksheet. And then on the right side, I want you to get more detailed. So on this left one, this is your outline of your core concepts. I want you to come up with a mission statement for your business. And this is going to pull from things that are like your beliefs about learning, your teaching philosophy, and why you're creating this business in the first place. Your mission statement is going to touch deeply on all three of those things. So your beliefs about teaching, your teaching philosophy, and why this business and why these people. Then I want you to just jot down some ideas, or if you already have them fleshed out, what products and services do you offer? So for products, that could be digital products or teacher-made resources that are there to either help other teachers or to help homeschool families or to help families work with their children. I know a lot of families that would just love some guidance on how to help their kids with homework without doing it for them. Services, we're talking about whether these are one-on-one, small group, if they're workshop style, meaning that they're just for a couple of weeks at a time, or if they are ongoing services. So think about how you're going to be putting these together, what specifically you're doing. And then you don't necessarily have to write a ton in here about who your ideal clients and students are, because we just did this whole worksheet on them last time. Now on the next page, I want you to kind of have your business name or an idea of a business name. Write in pencil. Everything's in pencil at this point. Who is your target customer? So your customer is going to be the parents. Unless you're marketing to adults, the customer is going to be the parents. And have your specific pain points that your parents have and your solution overview. And we're going to use these three pieces to write your I help statement a little bit later in this training. Next, you're going to be using pieces from your mission statement. So things from your teaching philosophy and beliefs about learning. Those are your content pillars, and I want you to align them with your customers' pain points. So honestly, I would probably do this backwards, where you are going to be doing your customers' pain points. And then how does your unique solution align with your values? That's how you create your content pillars. So you look at your customers' pain points, you look at your unique solution, the things about you that make you the best person to help them with those pain points. And then how does that align with your mission and your core values for your business? Those are your content pillars. Now we're into clarifying your message. So this one, writing a good mission statement. There will probably be several iterations of this, so don't feel like you need to have this done right away. A good mission statement should address the following things and be approximately 50 words. What are your core values? And this can be for you as a human and as an educator. What audience are you trying to reach? Who are you talking to? What do you want your audience to feel? So what or how do you want your audience to feel when they read your mission statement? Why should your audience seek out your business as opposed to other solutions, other businesses to solve their problem? And what makes your business unique? For those, go back to what makes you a great teacher. That's why I had you list that stuff in the very beginning. And then here are the steps of how you can do it. So you're going to identify your products or services. You're going to state your business's core values, draw a connection between the business's offerings, and describe how it aligns with the values. Brainstorm ideas on the best way to tell your organization's or your business's story. And then consolidate the ideas to create a list of potential mission statements. And try them out. Try saying them. Try putting them in ChatGPT and asking it to help you generate a mission statement. Talk to other people and see how it makes them feel. Try it on your friends and family and see if it is evoking the response that you're looking for. And so you're going to narrow down the choices and then finalize the one that you have that is the most clear and concise. So we're going to use this page to help you write a good elevator pitch and a good I help statement. So your elevator pitch is going to be used mostly for your organic interactions with people that you're talking to. So this is a verbal tool in your marketing toolkit. You want to keep it 30 to 60 seconds. You can have more than one. I want you to commit it to memory, but feel free to tweak it as you get used to it. And it needs to include the following: details on your background, who you help, and what you provide. So for example, and this is one that I just kind of made up based on one of the teachers that I've worked with in the past. I have over 5 years of experience helping students work through a variety of challenges and love helping struggling students grow into competent and enthusiastic readers. If you have a struggling reader, please consider me a resource. Short, sweet, to the point, friendly, and direct without being overly flowery. Now, you may want to have a different elevator pitch for each ideal client that you have. So that's another idea. And an example of when you would use your elevator pitch would be when you, like I said, it's for organic, when you just run into somebody and you're making small talk. Oh, what do you do? This is what I do. And then you could give them your business card, give them your elevator pitch, and perhaps they know somebody. Or you're giving them your elevator pitch and then they say something like, oh, I know somebody who could really use your help. You're like, oh, well, here's my business card. Don't underestimate these interactions. They can result in students. I have had it happen in my own business and seen it happen in others. So this is a worthwhile taking, maybe 10 minutes to come up with this. And then writing a good I help statement. So your I help statement is going to go in the bios of your social media. You're only allowed 50 words in those bios. And so you need to make really good use of them. They are always follow this kind of template. So I help client do or with this specific pain point so that they can have this desired outcome. So for example, for the private practice teacher, here's the one that I came up with. I help exhausted teachers create businesses they love so they can continue to teach without sacrificing the other things they want. And you can see how it follows that client pain point desired outcome. And that's your I help statement. So with these 4 pages, you should have already now, we've clarified your audience and we have clarified your messages. We've worked through those. You should have an understanding of what your ICA, ideal client avatar, that includes your student and your client. You should have a clear understanding of what their problems are, what makes your solutions unique, and ways to connect with your audience. And that's what we're going to be working with next, are how do you connect with them? If you don't know what makes your solution different, do some research. And even if you do know what makes your solution different, I still want you to do some research. Do a little bit of competitor analysis. So in order to do this, I want you to get into the head of your ideal client. What are they putting into Google? What are they putting into a search engine in order to find you? So think about their problem. What search terms are they using to find somebody to solve that problem? And if you're not exactly sure what the exact search terms are, feel free to ask AI. Put a description in of exactly as much detail of who exactly your ideal client avatar is, and then ask them what search terms they're using to find a solution to their problems. So you're going to describe your ICA in detail. You're going to describe their pain points and their problems, and then you're going to ask for 5 to 7 search terms that they are putting into search engines in order to find a solution for their problems. AI is actually quite good at this. Then keep those search terms handy because we're going to use that for your search engine analysis. This is how having those search terms on your website as often and as much as possible will help to bring your website up higher in their search, making it more likely for them to find you and click on your page in order to find a solution to their problems. So you really do need to have this information of what search terms they are using. Another piece of your competitor analysis that I want you doing is putting those search terms in and then look at what comes up. Look at what you like about their websites. Look at what you don't like. Look at places where they're clear. Look at places where they're unclear. Think about what appeals to you and what would appeal to your ideal client. Think about what turns you off, what you don't like about what they've done. This is a great place to come for some inspiration and to learn more about your competitor and how to differentiate yourself. Now, remember, I want you to come back and think about the traits that make you a great teacher, because we're going to lean into this moving forward. This is a huge component of your marketing. Pick a graphic organizer for this next one, whichever one you like the best. Personally, I like the one on the far right, but whichever one speaks to you, they will all work, and you can print out as many copies of this as you like. We're going to get into the basics of marketing. So here's your overview of your funnel, of your business funnel. This is the funnel that I teach in all of my Jumpstart courses. This is the funnel that I use personally for my teaching business, and that all of the teachers I work with use. So a funnel is how you get somebody from hearing about your business, developing awareness of the fact that you exist, and then be turning into paying clients. That's your funnel. So you're kind of catching them out here in the marketing. That's the widest part of your funnel. Then you're going to connect with them and encourage them to come to your website. Then from there on your website, you're going to continue to nurture them. And when they decide they want to work with you, they're going to book a free consult and fill out a new student information form. I don't let students or even the teachers that I work with live, I don't let anybody that I work with live just self-checkout. I want to know that we are going to work well together. I want to meet and make sure that we have shared expectations, that they're reasonable, that I have a clear understanding of what they need, and that I'm confident I can meet those needs before any money changes hands. I function this way in both of my businesses. It has worked very well for me. The one time that I ignored red flags, I ended up with a student that I did not enjoy working with. I ended up with a family that I did not enjoy working with. And I didn't create a business to continue to do something that I dreaded. So there's my little spiel about that. That's why I work the way that I do. And it's why I have never in either of my businesses had to issue a refund, because we take the time to do this. And so I have clients that have turned into fans that are happy to share about my business instead of people who don't like my business, who are then more than happy to tell everybody they know about how I'm not somebody to work with. All right, I'm going to move on from that, but I do definitely believe in this funnel, and that's why we all use it. So before they can work with you, they have to book a free consult, fill out that new student form. The next step is you've met and you decide you want to work together. You're going to do a student intake form and go through the onboarding process. And the recommendations that you made at the free consult. And then at that point, finally, you are choosing the scheduling, the services that they are going to have, and now they are a paying client. So that's kind of your overview of the process of just hearing about your business to becoming a paying customer, and then a fan, and then somebody that's going to market your business for you for free. The other reasons that we need to take the time to do all of this work ahead of time is because here's what your client needs from you. Before somebody goes from hearing about you to a paying customer, they have to go through a couple of steps. They have to first get to know you. They need to feel like they know at least a few things about you. Then they have to go through the process of making a judgment of whether they like you or don't like you. And then finally, the judgment process of whether or not to trust you. So before somebody will pay money to invest in you and your business and your products, you have to develop know, like, and trust. And that takes time. And the way that you do that is, again, by being very, very clear on what your ICA's problems are, why your solution is unique, and how you can connect with them. You need to connect with them on a human level. And you can do that by showing them that you understand what their problems are and that you are committed to solving those problems and capable, not just committed, but committed and capable. So we are going to talk about the two different ways that you can market. We have old school or traditional marketing, and then we have our new school online marketing. And they function in two different ways. I don't want to say one is more effective than the other, but they do function differently and they have different needs. So for your traditional or old school marketing, that's going to be your flyers, your business cards, and your email marketing. The value is on being concise and direct. Think again about your audience and how they are interacting with this. So flyers are very visual, but they get to the point. Everything in your traditional marketing, your old school marketing, needs to get to the point quickly. It needs to be kind of eye-catchy and efficient. So who are you? Why should they care? Meaning, what's their problem? How you can help, and how they can learn more, how they can get in touch with you to work with you. Boom. That's your flyer. Concise and direct. Your business cards, who you are and how they can work with you and who you help. That's what goes on your business card. Again, your elevator pitch is going to go with you handing out your business cards. But if there's a place like many nail salons or takeout restaurants, sometimes they will have a place where you can just kind of leave or post your business card. You want it to be eye-catchy enough and speak directly to what the problem is that your ideal client may be inspired to pick it up. So that's my little word about your business cards. And then your emails. I have templates for you to email school administrators, guidance counselors, content teachers. And then I also recommend reaching out to homeschool coordinators. And I'm also working on another email. So I'll tell you now, I'm creating a template for you to send to kind of friends and family, just to let them know, hey, I'm launching this business. If you know anybody who could benefit from it, please feel free to share my information with them. A lot of times our friends and family can be very caught up in their own lives that they don't necessarily think to do that. So it's fine to just have something that they can quickly forward or let them check out your website. Give them an opportunity to know more about the business that you've created than they might get just from word of mouth. Like, did you hear that Sally's niece is doing this business, blah, blah, blah. You can reach out to them directly. But be concise and direct, because a lot of times when it comes to emails, people are looking at a lot of emails and they're not reading them super thoroughly. So don't make them too wordy. Being to the point shows that you value their time. So for online marketing and social media, there is a lot of noise out there, but your goal is different. Your first job with your social media marketing and your online marketing is to connect with your audience. And you connect with them by putting out relatable content, things that they can relate to. Most people are on social media. They are craving connection. They want to feel seen. They want to know that there are other people out there having similar experiences to them. Think about what our lives have become. We are so busy that it's very hard to coordinate time to meet up with our friends in real life, to meet up with our families in real life. I don't like it, but that's how it is. And so that lack of connection that we get to have with our real life friends and family, social media is has jumped in for that. And so if we are scrolling on social media, we go there for entertainment, we do go there for information, but a lot of times the content that we're going to interact with are things that we feel a connection to. For example, I feel like it must be my mission in life to change toilet paper rolls no matter where I go. If I walk into a bathroom, 9 times out of 10, no matter where it is, the toilet paper is empty and I have to change that roll. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people can relate to and connect with. And if you put out something like that, chances are somebody will like it, somebody will laugh at it, and somebody will share it with someone else who has a similar, silly, mundane experience. And I feel like that is something that would connect with a lot of moms. But what makes it good is the fact that it's relatable, that a lot of people can relate to that. And you want to be putting out content that is relatable to your ideal client, which is another reason it's so important to know that. So whenever I get online and I'm talking to teachers, I'm actually talking to my teacher best friend, the one who encouraged me to start this business in the first place. And it makes it a lot easier to show up online, knowing that I'm talking to her, knowing that she already likes me, makes me feel less nervous. And because I know her so well, it's super easy for me to create content based on just talking to her about the things that I know that she's interested in. And then lots of other people, thousands in fact, resonate with that and like it and watch it and save it and share it. And that's how you're getting them at the top of your funnel, meaning they have that awareness that you exist. That's the top of your funnel. Your main job is to connect with them. Now they know that you exist. Now you're going to nurture them. And I'll explain this down here. So they're going to come deeper into your funnel. Reels are great for getting new followers. Reels get pushed out to everybody. Your carousel posts, nurture them. So if I come back to this page, remember I said you need to connect with them, nurture them, and then you can speak to them directly about your buy my thing. That's direct. Old school traditional marketing is concise. It shows you respect and value their time, and your direct buy my thing. This is who I help, buy my thing. Online marketing, you need to connect with them by being relatable, or entertaining them and being relatable, or educating and being relatable, but it really needs to be relatable. And then you're going to nurture, and then you can direct sell to them. I recommend Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and or YouTube. Those would probably be my top 4 for your teaching clients. Now, as you are creating your content, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. Number 1, you have to be consistent. The only thing the algorithm cares about is time on app. They just want people to stay on the app. And there are 2 things that it's looking for. Number 1, it's looking for you to be consistent. So if it is looking for content to push out at Thursday at 8 a.m., and that's the time you have decided to post, your content should be there by that time. So it's once consistent content. It does not matter what time you consistently post, but as long as you stick to that time, the algorithm will learn that you are somebody who always has content for them to push out at that time. So that's part of what I mean about being consistent. And for growth, which is you should be posting 4 times a week. 3 times for maintenance, 4 times for growth. Now let's talk about the different types of content. And I want to keep this simple because you are not a content creator. You did not leave the classroom to become a content creator. You're not building a teaching business to become a content creator. But this is free marketing that with just maybe an hour a week, you can get put out there that's worthwhile. If you can, once you know how to use it, not if, which you will know how to use it here very shortly. Reels are for new followers. videos and you can do your reels on Instagram and then repurpose them to go on other platforms. So you can make your reel on Instagram, have it set to save video. It'll go instantly into your videos, in your photos. And then you can take that exact same video and post it on YouTube. You can take that exact same video and post it on Facebook or TikTok or anywhere else that does video content that you want to push it out. They are great to get to discover your account. Carousels are good for nurturing. Carousels typically have big text. They're quick and easy to read. They're quick and easy to save. And that would be an example of your nurture content. Posts are going to bring them into the know part of the know, like, and trust. So with the reels and the nurture, they've decided that they like you and that they're going to follow your content. So you're getting the know and the like there as far as the awareness that you exist level of knowing. Posts are going to take them to a deeper level of knowing who you are, where they can build trust. Your post typically will have some sort of eye-catching image with them, and then they're going to take the time to read the caption. Nobody takes the time to read the caption if they don't already believe that you have value to share them. Posts, I'm going to put them lower in the funnel for that reason, because if it's not somebody that has already subscribed to follow you and already spent a significant amount of time interacting with your content, they're not going to see your posts anyway. And then your next level of marketing is to get them on your email. So if they are to the point where they are reading your posts, that means they like to read your stuff. So offer them a freebie, offer them something in exchange for getting onto your newsletter, or just invite them. Hey, if you like this content and you want more inspiration and ideas for how to do X, consider joining my newsletter. I send out a weekly newsletter with tips and tricks and hacks and helpful information of things that I'm doing with my students, and you can follow along, or however you want to word it. But once you have their email list, you can talk to them directly anytime you want. Now, don't bombard them because that's annoying unless you want to kind of turn them off. But now they don't have to go looking for your content. You can bring your content to them. From your email, then, in your marketing funnel, they're more likely to become a client. And once they become a client, they will become a fan because we choose who we work with. And then that word of mouth is going to do a ton for you. That is your strongest marketing tool that you have. But you do need to get a couple of clients first before they can go out and do their marketing job for you. Putting everything together. So let's take a moment to kind of review everything that we've accomplished at this point. So this is your marketing funnel. We talked about it before. Your message is the biggest part of your marketing. Now with traditional marketing, you're going to go right from your message and direct people to your website. From your website, they are going to follow the steps to come the rest of the way down into your funnel. On your website, you're going to have an About You page. You are going to have a blog page, and you are going to have a menu of services. Those are the three pieces that I want all of the teachers I work with to have. And blogging is an excellent way to create content for all of your social media, as well as to have a reason for people to sign up for your newsletter. And finally, boost your search engine optimization. Remember those keywords, those key search terms that we looked for? We want those on your website as much as possible. And blogging is an excellent way for you to provide value to your ideal client, as well as get those search terms on your website a lot. So each blog post I recommend should be approximately 3 paragraphs, so not a ton. Break it up with the formatting so that way it's easier to read. Use bullet points and graphics as much as you can. Again, we want it to be easy to read. But the purpose of this is not to demonstrate what a wonderful writer you are. People read your blog because they want to get information, and you are writing a blog to provide that information and to build your search engine optimization. So whatever keyword search term relates to your blog, that particular blog, you want to have that in there 5 to 7 times in that 3-paragraph blog. If you are someone who loves to write like I do, that does not feel good. But you have to stay mindful of the purpose of doing that exercise in the first place. And that's the purpose of it. You want the people who are looking for that information, how to help a struggling reader, to find your information in order to help that struggling reader. So you need to have how to help a struggling reader in your blog multiple times. So that way the search engine will show your content to the person searching for it. Now, your online marketing is going to spend a lot more time on your message in order to build that know, like, and trust and bring them in to your website. So the purpose of your marketing and social media marketing is to get them to come to your website at some point in time. But before they do that, they're going to have to go through the stages of know, like, and trust before they come to your website, or at least know, like, and curiosity. The trust before they will exchange money. Now let's do individual questions and answers. So I'm going to pause the recording and work with whomever would like help with anything that they have worked on up to this point. Well, now you just need to decide where you're going to go from here. You can figure it out on your own, and you totally can. I tell people that all the time. It just will take a little bit longer. Or you can work with a business coach like me or someone else and have a community of teachers to help you. So for those of you that are considering working with me, I have 2 ways. This is the first time I'm doing the second one. 2 ways for us to work together. So the first one is the 90-day jumpstart. And here is how the pricing works out. Or the DIY teacher. So the jumpstart program is now 2 years old. It's officially 2 years old. And it's time for an update. And so I'm re-recording. I'm still in the process of re-recording everything and updating everything that I created for Jumpstart. And I decided that while I'm going through that process, I'm going to also offer it as a completely self-paced individual course that you can do on your own. It does not have the live component with it, but I will be doing a live Q&A in a Facebook group just for the DIY teacher members. So as people are joining, you will still have a community in the Facebook group and in Slack that you can message with, and I'll be there too. But it's not going to be the twice a week private mentorship that would be in the Jumpstart program. In the Jumpstart program, you will have me there to lovingly kick your butt along the way to make sure that you are continuously making forward progress in your business and hitting that 90-day mark. The DIY teacher, I'm still going to be available for you for questions and answers, and you can schedule one-on-one consultations with me, but you will pay for those separately. So that's why it's half the price. And those are pay as you go. So whenever you decide you need a one-on-one, you schedule it and you'll get that for a discounted price. So here's what you get in Jumpstart: 2 live coaching calls each week for 12 weeks, and then 1 live coaching call all year round. So the Monday coaching call is for all Jumpstart teachers ever. And then the Thursday coaching call is only for those that are working in Jumpstart at that time. And then you'll have the lifetime access to the Jumpstart course plus any bonus trainings. This training is actually going to go in the bonus training section of the course. My pricing webinar also went in there, as well as some other webinars that guest trainers have done for us, like how to batch your work for building a Teachers Pay Teachers store, or how to gain traction on OutSchool, current search engine optimization practices that will help get your website up higher. We talked a little bit about that, but there are some other things. So those are just examples of some of the outside bonus trainings that are available in there. And that's where all of the extra trainings that we do or host will always go in there, and you will have access to that. And then you also get to schedule a one-on-one private coaching session each month as needed. And that is also for life. So your business can be 2 and 3 years old. And if you want to schedule a one-on-one with me because of something that's come up, you can always do that. You're entitled to 1 each month as our schedules allow. The DIY teacher, here's what you'll have. A weekly 1-hour live Q&A. If you're not able to attend, you also have email access to me, and I will answer it during that Q&A. The recordings will be saved, so you will always have it to go back to and listen. That will be saved in our Facebook group. You will have access to all of the bonus trainings that I mentioned and the full course itself. We will have a DIY teacher Slack community as well as a Facebook community. I love Slack. It's a very small group. You can share pictures and upload PDF files, and I can give you feedback on anything that you are working on in there, and so can any of the other teachers in that group. But everything offloads after 90 days, and I don't love that. So there's also a Facebook community where everything will be saved. And then a 20% discount off of any of those one-on-one coaching sessions that you choose to schedule. No matter which one you go with, you get all 4 of these modules. So we're going to start with mindset transition. Almost all of the teachers I work with come in exhausted and so drained and sometimes even heartbroken that they can't even dream of what they would love life to look like. They're just that tired. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to pour back into you. We're going to help you create some sustainable self-care habits, starting with as little as 15 minutes a day until you are feeling up to it and feeling better and rejuvenated enough that you can start to visualize what you want your life to look like, what you want your business to look like, and then we'll start building your business. In building your business, we're going to go through everything that we came up with in that dream vision of what life will look like and figuring out the action steps we need to take that dream and bring it down to earth, as well as going through all of your startup costs and all of the nitty gritty of creating your business and your products and services and all of the logistics of making your business work. Then we'll go into the marketing tools, which you have just gotten a ton of information on. Well, in here, I'm actually going to show you how to create a reel, how to do the different pieces of your marketing. And then open for business. That's all of your workflow systems. This is how we're going to set up that funnel. And I give you a template for your onboarding of your students, the student interest survey and all of that, as well as your invoicing for your business and how we're going to create all of the workflow systems in order for your business to run smoothly. So all of that is in the Open for Business section. Here are a couple of those bonus trainings that I told you about: the selling your resources online, making money on OutSchool, and search engine optimization. Those are the 3 that are in there currently, as well as my pricing webinar that I did in the fall of last year. And this training now that you are listening to will also end up in there. The breakdown of the value, I'm not going to read that to you. I know you can do that yourself, but if I priced everything the way that I priced my teaching business, it would all this is what it would come out to being. And that's not at all what I'm charging you for this. And additionally, if you choose to work with me one-on-one or in one of the live modules, either as a DIY teacher or a Jumpstart teacher, then I will add your business as a PPT verified educator, meaning that I am personally vouching for you and your business. But I do want to get to know you before I do that. I do host any teacher businesses on my website because I want this directory to exist. I want people to know that it's an option. I want parents and families to be able to find us and find the teachers that work best for them. But I'm not going to put this PPT verified educator distinction on if I don't personally know you. So here are the 2 ways that we can work together. Whatever you do when you're building a business, you're going to invest some ratio of time and money. And I can't, nor do I want to tell you what that should be. You will make that decision. And I believe that you can do this on your own. I did it on my own. I don't think I'm smarter than the average teacher. And as a teacher, you are a professional learner, and there is nothing you can't learn to do, including creating a thriving business. So I 100% believe that you can do this. And I will help you as much as I can, no matter what you pay me. If you want to work with me at a higher level, I do charge for that, but only because I want to practice what I preach. And I believe that we should all be compensated for our time, experience, and the value that we are able to offer. So if I'm going to tell you to do that, and I believe that you should and you can, then I have to practice what I preach and do the same. If you want to join Jumpstart, I will tell you it is by invitation only for all of the reasons that I told you before. in working with your students. If I don't think that I'm the best solution to your problem, I'm not going to invite you to join my program. I still want you to have the help that you need, but I'm not going to invite you to work with me if I don't think that I can help you cross your finish line and that I can help you achieve your definition of success. And that's exactly what I teach you to do in your business. If you meet with someone and you don't believe that you are the best solution for them and that you can help them get the results that they want, then I want you to send them on their way. I don't want you to bring them in and try to make them happy and set yourself up to be in a situation where it's stress inducing and causes anxiety, and they may or may not end up becoming a fan of you and your business. I don't think it's good business, and I don't think it's worthwhile. And that's how I run both of my businesses. So if you get on a coaching call with someone or a discovery call or sales call with someone, and you don't believe that you are the best solution to their problem, refer them to somebody else. You can simply say, I'm sorry, I don't think that we are a good fit. I don't think I'm the best solution to your problem. Here, I still want you to reach your goals. I still want you to have success. Here are some other places I think you might find more help or find the help that is better for you. Like I said, I practice what I preach. So if you fall into that category, that's what I'm going to tell you. If I think that we are a good fit, then I'm going to extend the invitation to work together. You can either complete a program application, or we can schedule a 15 to 30 minute Zoom call so that way we can meet. Or you can do both. If you complete an application and you still want to talk just to make sure for yourself that it feels like a good fit, please do that. I think I'm the opposite of like the salesperson. I'm a teacher. I want to give you all the information and I want you to make a decision you're comfortable with. I do have a refund policy. I've never had to use it, but I do have it. It exists. Before any money changes hands, I go through everything I can to make sure that we are on the same page. But if for whatever reason something happens, I will refund you 100% of everything that you have paid up to that point when you submit a request in writing via email before day 15 of the course and complete an exit survey, because I want to know where in my system there was a breakdown and how I can avoid that from happening in the future. So I am going to ask you to do that for me so that way I can make my business work better for my ideal clients. And that is the end of it. That is the end of everything that I have for you. I do have a few slides at the end here of teachers that I have worked with in the past. So here's Barb. Here's her business. Her average monthly income is $5,000 a month. She works 4 days a week. She actually makes more in the summer than she does during the school year. And Barb's amazing. Her business, we work together. She's one of the very first teachers that I ever worked with. She launched her business in January of 2023. So her business is now over a year old. Then we have Steph, who is at the moment of this recording in London and still working. Learn in Rome is so that way she and her husband, who is also self-employed, allows them to travel while still doing their jobs. And her ideal student is also a student who travels with their families, students who travel with their family. So she teaches students who are traveling. She teaches students who are not, while she is also traveling, and her business is almost 100% online. And her average monthly income is $4,000 a month, and she does work 5 days a week. She works less in the summer, though, because she is the mother of 2 boys, and she wants to be able to spend more time with them while they are off from school. And then for me, I have 2 businesses. So in my teaching business, I only bring in about $3,000 a month, working 4 days a week, 12 hours a week in my teaching business. And I have scheduled, the whole reason that I started this entire crazy journey was so that way I can put my kids on and off the bus. So that is just a little snippet of my life. And then the rest of the time that I have is devoted to helping my other teachers do the same. Reach out if you have any questions. I am always rooting for you and wishing you the best.